The holographic chamber of the Galactic Council hummed with anxious energy as representatives from 47 species materialized in their respective pods. High Arbiter Velkoth, a towering crystalline being from Proxima Prime, called the emergency session to order with a resonant chime that echoed through the vast chamber. "We gather today to address the human problem," Velkoth announced, his voice carrying the weight of ancient authority. Commander Elsa Chen stood alone in the human delegation pod, her military uniform crisp despite 3 weeks of continuous combat operations. Her dark eyes scanned the assembled council members, reading their body language or whatever passed for it among the various species. Fear, uncertainty, and beneath it all, barely concealed contempt. "The human problem?" Elsa repeated, her voice cold and measured. "Is that what you're calling it now?" Beside her pod, though physically light years away, Captain Farad of the Dravian Empire shifted uncomfortably. The reptilian officer had fought alongside human forces during the recent Krell invasion, and what he'd witnessed had fundamentally altered his understanding of warfare itself. "Commander Chen," Velkoth continued, "your species was granted provisional membership in this council based on your technological achievements and diplomatic overtures. However, your recent actions against the Krell Dominion have violated 17 interstellar conventions on proportional response." Elsa's jaw tightened. "Proportional response? Let me make sure I understand correctly. The Krell glassed 3 of our colony worlds. They killed 2 million civilians in unprovoked attacks. They broadcasted their intentions to harvest the rest of humanity as slave labor. And you're concerned about our response being proportional?" A murmur rippled through the council. Ambassador Thesk, a floating gas form entity, spoke next. "The Krell fleet numbered 800 warships. They possessed superior technology and had conquered 17 systems. Yet in 3 weeks, humanity has reduced their empire to ash. You didn't just defeat them, you annihilated them." "We sent a message," Elsa replied flatly. Farad activated his communication link, his translator rendering his hissing speech into standard galactic. "Honored Council, I must speak. I witnessed the human counteroffensive firsthand. What they accomplished should be impossible." "Please elaborate, Captain Farad," Velkoth said, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's light into dancing patterns. Farad's clawed hand trembled slightly as he accessed his combat logs. "The humans didn't just fight back, they innovated in real time. When the Krell's energy shields proved impervious to conventional weapons, humans invented kinetic railguns that bypassed them entirely. When Krell dreadnoughts destroyed human supply lines, humans taught their soldiers to manufacture ammunition from asteroid minerals using portable fabricators. They are relentless," Farad continued, his voice carrying a mixture of awe and something approaching fear. "I watched Commander Chen's forces assault a Krell fortress world. They were outnumbered 5-1. Logic dictated retreat. Instead, they used the planet's own atmosphere as a weapon, igniting a chemical chain reaction that consumed the Krell's oxygen supply. The fortress surrendered within hours." Elsa listened to Farad's account without emotion. She had learned long ago that survival demanded hard choices and harder hearts. "These tactics violate the conventions of civilized warfare," protested Ambassador Quiln, a multi-limbed insectoid from the hive clusters. "You weaponized an entire planetary ecosystem." "The conventions," Elsa said, her voice rising for the first time, "were written by species who had the luxury of negotiating surrender terms. The Krell gave us no such luxury. They came to exterminate us. We simply returned the favor with compound interest." Velkoth's form pulsed with agitation. "This is precisely what concerns us, Commander. Humanity's approach to warfare is disturbing. Other species fight for territory, resources, even honor. But humans? You fight with a totality that terrifies us. When threatened with extinction, you don't just resist, you ensure your enemy can never threaten anyone again." "You're absolutely right," Elsa said, stepping forward in her pod until her image dominated the chamber. "Let me tell you something about humanity that your xenoanthropological reports might have missed. We evolved on a death world. Earth has tried to kill us with ice ages, plagues, predators, and natural disasters for hundreds of thousands of years. We survived by being more stubborn than the universe itself." She pulled up a holographic display showing Earth's scarred but recovering colonies. "Every species in this council came from worlds where life was easy, where evolution was a gentle process. You developed diplomacy because you had the luxury of negotiation. We developed warfare because for us it was adapt or die, and we got very, very good at not dying. Farhat spoke again, his voice quieter now. I have studied human history. They have fought each other for millennia with devastating efficiency. Their world wars claimed hundreds of millions of lives. Yet they learned, adapted, and emerged stronger. When they turned that same savage efficiency against the Krell, the outcome was inevitable. This is exactly why we're concerned, Velkoth said. What happens when humanity decides the Council itself is a threat? Elsa met his gaze, or the closest approximation given his crystalline nature. Then I suggest the Council never gives us reason to consider you one. We didn't start this war. We didn't want this war. But we finished it decisively. Consider it a demonstration. A demonstration of what? Thesk asked. Of what happens when you mistake human restraint for human weakness, Elsa replied. For 3 years we've followed your rules, attended your councils, and played the role of grateful junior members. We accepted insults and condescension because we wanted to be part of your galactic community. The Krell mistook that patience for vulnerability. She gestured to the tactical display showing the former Krell Empire, now nothing but debris fields and silent worlds. We gave the Krell every opportunity to negotiate. We offered terms. We tried diplomacy. They responded by killing millions of civilians. So we showed them what humans are capable of when diplomacy fails. We will be peaceful. We will be cooperative. We will be valuable allies. Elsa's expression hardened into something that made even the battle-hardened Farhat unconsciously retreat. But we will never again be victims. If that makes you uncomfortable, perhaps you should have intervened when the Krell attacked unprovoked. The chamber fell silent. The assembled species exchanged glances through their various sensory organs, processing the implications of what they'd just witnessed. Humanity hadn't just defeated the Krell. They'd sent a message to every species in the galaxy. Finally, Velkoth spoke. The Council will take your position under advisement, Commander Chen. This session is adjourned. As the holographic projections began to fade, Farhat caught Elsa's eye. Through their private channel, he said quietly, You've terrified them, you know. The entire galaxy will be watching humanity now. Elsa allowed herself the ghost of a smile. Good. Maybe next time someone decides to test humanity, they'll remember the Krell and think twice. Fear is just respect with better survival instincts. As her projection dissolved, Elsa returned to the bridge of the ESS Indomitable, where her crew awaited orders. Earth's brutal counterattack had indeed left the Galaxy Council speechless. And in the harsh mathematics of interstellar politics, Elsa knew that sometimes speechless was the best form of understanding humanity could hope for. The age of human politeness had ended with 2 million civilian deaths. The age of human respect had just begun.